In terms of the nursing, the more conventional nursing that you've done and your experience as a nurse, do you feel that those experiences have kind of inhibited your self-confidence, or do you feel like they've promoted your self-belief and your confidence?
They definitely have promoted my self-confidence. I think especially working in for their, as a nurse advisor, to make that sort of clinical decisions that you just feel more competent, that you're able to achieve this goal, and people trust you
Yeah.
with giving them the advice. And so that is something that is positive that I've looked at. Certain roles in nursing has definitely promoted my sort of self-confidence. And I think a lot of patients, they have this sort of for nurses that they trust that they can be given, and
Right.
so that's something that I think is definitely good, that is promoted in nursing. To some jobs that you do, you just give you that self-confidence as well,
Yeah.
that you can do this, and all the experience that I've sort of have, I can utilize it and put it in towards the business, which is something that's been really good, and has helped me to start the business, and also to carry on with the business.
Great. Have you told friends and colleagues or whatever about your plans, and if you have, do they think you're crazy, or or are they kind of positive about it, or do they know?
Yes, I've told my close nursing friends,
Yeah.
and they're very sort of positive, and they definitely, knowing who I am, they know that I'm more sort of the go-getter, that I try everything, something new. I'm not like afraid to start something new at all. So they've been really positive, like go for it, even though sometimes it can be very challenging. I'm kind of the person that would kind of tell people that I'm close to if there's anything that is worrying me, or this is not going well, and just to
Right.
have that sort of support from friends to carry on. And that's been amazing, and it's quite nice when you have good nursing friends that can support you in your ambitions in business, and they've known for a long time. I think I haven't stopped talking about it. Maybe that's why as well. They love it. They're like, go ahead, Shirhan, keep trying. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really nice to hear, though, and I think touching on also being able to kind of say when things aren't going great, because I think one of the things about kind of deciding that you're going to set up a business, there is a massive fear of failure and of things not going right, and I think a lot of us do feel a bit judged, and so again for me, I certainly felt like, geez, if I mess this up, it's going to be really embarrassing. And it's not at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, for most people in business, it takes much longer than you realise to kind of get it off the ground. And I think most people who are successful because they overcome the various challenges that come along, because they will come along, like that's a given. So it's, if you've got that kind of group around you and that support around you, where you can say, yeah, things are going great, or actually things that are not going so great, and you've still got, that positive kind of energy and support from your friends. It's really nice to hear. That's how we should be, supporting each other. What else did I want to know from you? So what's the ultimate goal for you? What's the big dream?
The ultimate goal is for the business to become, of course, large, in terms of like franchise. I would like it, but not in terms of so many franchises, but in a small areas where it's operating in, like, which is the dream. Like now, to have it in the Middle East would be quite nice. So that's somewhere that I've been planning and thinking of in the future goal.
Cool.
So just to have like 2 or 3 franchise of the company, or to start up another home care agency in sort of the Middle East, and to grow that business. And later on, I can look back, this is what I've done 20 years from now. That's the ultimate goal. now it's just
Awesome.
the start. So hopefully I'll get there one day.
Yes, I love your yeah, your enthusiasm and your ethic, and yeah, it's really exciting. Who knows, as you say, you could look back in 20 years on this interview and be like, "Oh my God, I did
Mhm.
everything that I wanted to do." Um, and in terms of skills that you haven't acquired via nursing, do you envisage that there's skills that you need to learn to make this business work? And what do you think they might be? And I guess, are you going to just try and sort of pick them up as you go along, or have you kind of thought about that kind of stuff?
Yes. So I would say definitely marketing would be one of the skills to have.
Yeah,
And also sort of accounting. I don't know if that is a skill, but you
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
need to be aware of your cost and how much you're spending on marketing
yeah,
or promotional products, things like that. So it's important to have those skills
yeah,
at hand. And also, recently, which I'm working on, also public speaking. So that is something that is quite good because if you're able to be confident to be able to stand up in front of people, you can also be confident to present to people that are in the business that you want, clients that you want to work with.
right,
That
yeah,
is something that I'm working on, and I think for anybody that's going into nursing, I think it's quite important. That is going into business, it's important to have like public speaking skills.
yeah. I agree. That's definitely one of the things that I like least in life. I think you come over really, really well. I think you're very articulate and eloquent and a good speaker. But yeah, it's again, it's I think it's more about kind of practice, isn't it, and putting yourself out there and facing your demons on that front. Is it something that you feel nervous about? Because it doesn't show.
And yes, I would say not in terms of when I'm talking to people I know, or if I'm in the
Yeah,
work environment, I'm not afraid of that. But in terms of like standing up in front of people that I don't know
yeah,
and listening to them, or somebody that is more like a client that I want to work with,
yeah,
like this organization, that is something that would sort of scare me to to show my confidence
yeah,
and to be able to stand up in front of them. That is something that I'm kind of get nervous about,
yeah,
and something that I want to work on. That I realized, what is it that I'm not good at? What is
yeah.
it something I can work on? Then I just realized that, and I've actually started a course.
Oh, cool.
So, which is like through online Zoom now, because
Of
nobody's like
course.
going out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anything that can help me, then I'm willing to work on.
Yeah. And again, that's it, isn't it? It's having that kind of awareness of what you're not so good at, and then is this important? And then if yes it is, then how do I do something about it? That's all that you can do, isn't it? Because we can't be great at everything. Um, and I think accounting and marketing are like totally on the money. I mean, again, I think for most nurses, they're fairly alien concepts. Definitely marketing is not, it's not a typical, I would say it doesn't come naturally to nurses to generalise. We don't, because we don't sell, do we? Oh, sure you want, I certainly find even now sometimes with, do you want to buy this? Quite expensive. It's just, it's not our kind of nature, is it? So it's about kind of, again, yeah, learning those skills. And accounting, yeah, gosh, I wish I had a better head for numbers. But yeah, so they're two, I think, really important skills, and interesting that, as I say, kind of correlates with what I would have thought are, and I think have come up again in previous interviews. Um, so yeah, okay, and yeah, interesting. I'd be interested to hear about how you get on with your public speaking course in the future, whether you think it's helpful or not. And again, for recommendations, I guess, for other people on here. Um, so you again just briefly mentioned there, but I've got to ask. Obviously, the pandemic. Has that kind of affected your plans? I'm sure it must have impacted you. It's impacted us all, hasn't it?
Mhm.
What kind of hole has that left in what you had planned, and it doesn't seem to have broken your kind of spirit or your enthusiasm at all. So I'm hoping that you're just kind of planning around that and working towards when we get some sort of normality back.
Yes, it definitely has. In terms of, there was plans for like short-term clients that I wanted to get for the summer break, and it definitely worked that people are not traveling now, and it's hard to get that client. So it has definitely affected the business plans.
Yeah.
What can you do? COVID-19 has come. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of working on, okay, maybe more the long-term clients. If short-term is not possible, try to focus on getting the long-term clients. So that's what I've been doing now.
Yeah, and I guess certainly at the start, if I think of my own mum, that I guess there's lots of situations where people were stopping carers from coming in and just making do without them, even if that didn't mean an ideal scenario. But the fear of people bringing in the virus, it was and probably still is quite high up in people's minds. So I guess that is something that hopefully won't last forever, but we just don't know, do we?
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yes, I've had a few clients that wanted to work with me during that time, but I think because the families were looking after them during the pandemic, and everybody was scared for carers to come in to catch COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it definitely has affected the business, but I'm looking at the positive and learning from this experience.
Cool. Yeah. And then my last question is for you. What do you think is the key skill from nursing that will provide most value in your business going forward?
I would say confidence, skills, and also being motivated to, the work ethic that nurses sort of put in their field. So that's something that would help me to in terms of the business, and it's also helped me with my confidence skills, to being able to transfer from all the experiences I've learned from ward nursing to A&E. I've learned that my confidence is something that can take me further, and if I'm motivated, it would lead me to have a successful business.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Confidence and motivation are a dream combination, aren't they? And yeah, I definitely think that, as you say, that kind of work ethic that you do sort of evolve and grow the more you are a nurse, because it just comes with the territory, doesn't it? So I think the kind of graft and the discipline that's involved in creating a business, setting up a business, especially whilst you're still working, comes easier to us because of, as you say, that work ethic. And it's nice. It's good to feel. I think I'm starting to feel more that that kind of underlying confidence that nursing does kind of bring out in you. Because of all the challenges that we do face in a workplace, and that how adaptable we are. And it does seem this is coming through with a lot of nurses that I'm speaking to, that actually when it comes down to it, you do realise that you do have a certain level of confidence that's come from all those kind of different experiences. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's an exciting time for you. Okay, well look, I thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. It's been really lovely chatting to you. Really appreciate you giving up your time, and I'll be speaking to you anyway, but thank you so much.